And we are back on the round table answering some common questions that patients have. And this one is for Dr. Wigriff. It says, "Hi, doctors. I heard that some tummy tuck procedures can be done without drains. Is that true? How does it work? And what's the recovery like?"
So yes, that is true. It's called a drainless tummy tuck. So whenever we create space during surgery, which we create a lot of space during a tummy tuck procedure, we're elevating all the skin and fat off of the muscles. Fluid likes to accumulate in those spaces. So we have to do one of two things to treat that. Either we have to put in drains to drain that fluid, and as your body heals, that tissue, that skin and fat sticks back down to it, or we can do a technique called progressive tension sutures, where we're actually putting extra layers of sutures to put that skin and fat back down to the muscles and limit how much fluid can accumulate in that space. So the recovery is very similar to a traditional tummy tuck. The result is very similar to a traditional tummy tuck. One of the things I always recommend for the patients that are getting a drainless technique is that the lymphatic massages are imperative for proper recovery and minimizing the risk of seroma or fluid collections.
And would there be a case where you do the progressive tension sutures and also use a drain?
Yeah, so that's a great point. There are, whenever we put those progressive tension sutures, it's only going to help speed up the healing process. And so patients that have had previous surgeries or liposuction, sometimes they're good candidates to have those, but they may require drains in addition to it because scar tissue doesn't tend to absorb the fluid as much as virgin tissue that's never been operated on before. So that's also one of the limitations. There's certain limitations on BMI, previous surgeries for the drainless technique that we have. So you need to make sure you're a good candidate for it before we offer that to you completely.
Yeah, I think that's one of the main things about this procedure. I think it's great for certain patients, but understanding that drains are not your enemy, and sometimes the drains are going to help you in that recovery as well. So depends on a lot of things, your BMI, your prior surgeries, your recovery. But of course, if you need drains, sometimes it's needed for a better recovery and a better process. So don't hate them.
That's right. So yeah, if you're someone who really wants to try and avoid the drains, we got to make sure that you're a good candidate. So go ahead and send in your photos and your questionnaires, and then Dr. Wiggriff can evaluate those and then let you know whether you'll be a good candidate for this drainless technique.
So if you have any questions about either of these procedures, please check us out at pureplasticsurgery.com, where you can do a consultation right there.
Thank you.
All right.